So you may have heard a rumor that minimalism is dead, but is it? It's an interesting question. Let's talk about that. Well, hello friend, I'm Mary Beth with At What Cost, where simple living and deep faith go hand in hand. And we are going to talk about whether or not minimalism is dead. So don't click off the video if you're new to the channel. We're going to get there. But I did want to take a moment and just say thank you to our wonderful community here. You have been so supportive over the last month as I have kind of taken a step back from the tubes because of the passing of my father. And I just can't tell you how grateful I am that you have continued to support the channel here, and I appreciate this just wonderful sense of community that we have. But I'm back, and while I was gone, something happened. Apparently, minimalism took a turn for the worse and is on its way out, or at least close to it. Did you know that? I had no idea. So here's what I think happened. We all got the notice in March of 2020 that we were going to be home for a little while, and along came the declutter bandwagon, and a whole lot of people got on it. And I was sort of one of them. Maybe you were too. And of course, now that we're able to leave our homes more and life is starting to feel like it's a little bit back to normal in some ways, it sort of means that we may not be spending as much time on decluttering. We had this kind of illusion of time that we would have extra time, we'd be home all of the time, and we could get all these things done. And so at the beginning of this kind of upswing in this minimalism movement, you may too have felt that push to really get some things out of your home. And now maybe that time has been spent shopping or doing things outside of our homes, or maybe we're starting to get a little depressed that things don't feel normal, and so we don't have the physical or emotional energy to declutter. Or maybe we have a scarcity mindset because some things are expensive and others just aren't available at all. This has been an incredibly stressful almost 2 years now for pretty much everyone. It just has. And although we can really see the benefits of decluttering, it may not be enough to actually overcome those barriers to continue on with the process or go all in on minimalism. Because there's a little bit of a trick here to this whole minimalism is dead kind of thing. I think there is some confusion between decluttering and minimalism. You can get rid of stuff and not be a minimalist. Minimalism isn't a way to get organized. It's not a way to make your space cleaner. It's not a way to teach your family how to put away their things. It's just not. Those are some of the products of minimalism. So adopting a more minimalistic lifestyle will naturally lead to a lot of these benefits, but that's not necessarily the criteria for becoming a minimalist. Minimalism itself is a mindset, and all of those things are simply the fruit of adopting that mindset and putting it into practice. And I think Rachel from The Messy Minimalist said it best in her recent video, so I'm going to link that to the description because she did a phenomenal job of explaining this idea of actual minimalism and this trend of minimalism, which is what we see trending down. And a trend that is actually not all that minimal if you really think about it. Think about it this way. Before Fixer Upper, what did the farmhouse style look like? I can tell you that it didn't look like that. We actually have a 1920s farmhouse that's been in our family for, well, 100 years, and it has never looked like Chip and Joanna have even been within a 100-mile radius of that. And it is a traditional Southern farmhouse. But when we think farmhouse look, a certain aesthetic really does come to mind. And the same has been true for minimalism in the last, I would say, probably 2 or 3 years. Minimalism isn't about white walls and macrame and plants and natural light. It's also not about tiny homes and being able to pack your whole life into a backpack or voluntarily living out of your car. Yes, there are people who actually do that. And I can tell you, for this family of 5, there ain't a car big enough for that, friends. No. For me, minimalism is more about systematically taking things off the throne of my heart. That's called an idol. And returning it to its proper place. It's about removing things from my home and my life that do not allow me to be fruitful in my faith and make disciples of all nations. Minimalism isn't for everyone. It just isn't. And if you don't want to be a minimalist, it's okay. You don't have to be. We can still talk simplified living and family and faith and all the things that we've always talked about here. But if you do want to go all in on minimalism, well, I'm here for it. We can totally do this. Subscribe if you haven't already, comment below, maybe consider joining our Bible study group membership here. And it is so good to be back. I really did miss you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.